Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to a report by the Liberty Times, White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles is concerned that Beautified war reports are misleading President Trump regarding the ongoing 5-week conflict between the U.S., Israel, and Iran. While Trump publicly lauded a swift, decisive, and overwhelming victory on April 1st, promising to send Iran back to the Stone Age, internal White House sources reveal Wiles worries that staff are providing only what the president wants to hear, rather than an accurate assessment of the political and economic risks. The article from Time magazine highlights Trump's private desire to end the war due to concerns about its impact on the upcoming midterm elections. Despite his public tough talk, core officials, including War Secretary Pete Hegseth, have reportedly been surprised by Iran's escalating counterattacks against previously unexpected targets in the region. The offensive against Iran was planned a month in advance, with close consultation with Israel, and Prime Minister Netanyahu had urged Trump to finish things during a February 11th meeting. The Trump administration now faces the challenge of finding an exit strategy without appearing humiliated, a situation historically fraught with peril for U.S. presidents. A Kyodo News analysis revealed that Japan has seen the discontinuation of railway services on 1,366 kilometers of track across 68 sections, accounting for 5% of its total network over the past 3 decades. This significant reduction, spanning from fiscal 1996 to fiscal 2025, is primarily attributed to depopulation, particularly impacting rural areas and highlighting a shrinking of public transportation options. Approximately 1/3 of the closed track length was in Hokkaido. The pace of these closures has notably accelerated, with 387 kilometers scrapped in the first decade, 445 kilometers in the second, and 534 kilometers in the most recent decade. While 1,913 kilometers of new tracks, including 1,156 kilometers for Shinkansen bullet trains, were laid during the same period. The closures underscore a growing challenge for regional connectivity. An expert from Ryutsu Keizai University emphasized that railways should be considered a public transportation system, urging municipalities to become actively involved in their management. 自由时报 reports on the situation after a U.S. F-I-4D-E fighter jet was reportedly shot down over Iran, with one pilot missing. The article features insights from Ronald Young Jr., a former U.S. Army helicopter pilot who was shot down and captured during the Iraq War over 2 decades ago. Young recounts the primal instinct to survive after being hit, describing himself as prey, frantically seeking cover by moonlight. He and his co-pilot were captured after about an hour and a half on the ground, enduring 23 days of torture and interrogation across multiple locations. Military pilots undergo rigorous SERE, survival, evasion, resistance, and escape training based on 4 core principles. These principles dictate finding a safe location and reporting one's position after ejection, and if captured, employing trained resistance techniques against extreme pressure, interrogation, and even torture. Young stresses that while adrenaline surges, clear thought derived from training becomes a mechanical process for survival. Another example mentioned is Captain Scott O'Grady, a U.S. Air Force pilot who evaded capture for 6 days during the 1995 Bosnia War. Al Jazeera reports that a projectile strike near Iran's Bushehr nuclear plant resulted in the death of 1 security personnel member. The International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, confirmed the incident, citing Iranian authorities, and stated there was no increase in radiation levels following Saturday's attack. This marks the fourth such incident near the nuclear facility amidst ongoing U.S.-Israeli military actions against Iran. IAEA Director General Rafael Grossi expressed profound concern, emphasizing that nuclear sites or their vicinity must never be targeted and called for maximum military restraint to avert the risk of a nuclear accident. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi condemned the repeated strikes, highlighting a perceived lack of concern for the plant's safety. Additionally, Israeli strikes on Saturday reportedly hit several petrochemical plants in Iran's southern Khuzestan region, injuring at least 5 people, while Iran claimed to have downed a U.S. drone and forced down 2 warplanes. 联合早报 reports that Russia carried out a large-scale daytime assault on Ukraine just before Easter, employing over 500 drones and dozens of missiles. This extensive bombardment resulted in the deaths of at least 14 people across several Ukrainian states. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky condemned Russia's actions, accusing Moscow of escalating the conflict ahead of the upcoming holiday weekend. Earlier in the week, Zelensky had proposed a ceasefire during the Easter period, contingent on Russia ceasing attacks on Ukrainian energy facilities, but this offer was rejected by Moscow. The recent strikes caused damage to residential buildings, kindergartens, and schools in Kyiv Oblast, and led to power outages in parts of Zaporizhzhia Oblast. Meanwhile, frequent Ukrainian drone attacks have continued to target Russian energy infrastructure, with recent strikes disrupting operations at Baltic Sea oil export hubs in Ust-Luga and Primarsk, forcing refiners to seek alternative shipping routes at higher costs. Peace negotiations mediated by the United States have yet to achieve any substantial progress. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.